from victory. People in the middle, disaffected voters, are going to leave in droves. There are now 6 separate analyses from 6 different groups about whom 2024 non-voters preferred, the people who didn't vote. And the answer ranges from Trump plus 20, that'd be American National Election Study, to Trump plus 6, that'd be the New York Times. So again, non-voters, the people who are less likely to vote, actually support. They are a silent majority, as President Trump has said. And that silent majority is going to be not so silent, and it's going to get larger and larger the more the Democrats go nuts. Now, is that something Republicans should root for? So, obviously, you can make the argument that if you're a Republican, you want Democrats to continue following the Bernie Sanders, Zoran Mamdani path. I'm going to make the case that this is a mistake. The reason I think this is a mistake is that the country is better off when you have 2 parties that are at least living in the suburbs of reality. As I've said before, I think President Trump lives full-time in reality. I think he's a very realistic person who responds to incentive structures. The problem with the Democratic Party that swings out to the radical left, the way that we are watching right now, they could have a George McGovern moment where they just get blown out in 2028, the same way that they got blown out in 1972 when they decided to run on acid and peacenik nonsense from George McGovern. It's also possible that things could go wrong. It's a very dangerous game to pick your opponents and hope that those opponents are then going to lose to you. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And I would much rather have a Democratic Party living somewhere within the realm of reason, where discussions are possible, than living in the realm of Columbia University Tentifada students running as mayor of New York or president of the United States. Because my great fear is that in a 2-party country, one of those parties has to win. And if the Republicans fall down in any way, shape, or form, this very high-stakes poker right here, if the Republicans fall down in any way, shape, or form, you could see a deeply radical, anti-American person become president of the United States. You could. It is always a possibility. Enough dissatisfaction creates backlash, and that backlash can come in some pretty hideous forms. Which is why it is so important that Republicans continue to pass the big, beautiful bill. Now, there's a major holdup with regard to the big, beautiful bill. Apparently, the Senate parliamentarian has now decided that there are serious problems with the big, beautiful bill. So there were decisions publicized Thursday from the Senate parliamentarian that affects several major pieces of the big, beautiful bill. The one giant piece of legislation that includes the Trump tax cuts, funding for immigration, funding for a wide variety of priorities. So again, according to the Senate parliamentarian advised that actually several provisions of the one big, beautiful bill would be subject to a 60-vote threshold if they remain in the bill. Remember, this is supposed to be passed under reconciliation. What that means is that because the budget is really, really important, essentially there is a rule in the Senate and the House that you can pass by 51 votes in the Senate, not having to overcome a filibuster, a budget bill. If there's a bunch of extraneous stuff in the budget bill, then theoretically that could be struck down by the parliamentarian as not really inside the budget and therefore subject to a 60-vote filibuster. Alrighty, so you're asking, what does the Senate parliamentarian do? Well, don't ask me, ask my sponsors over at Perplexity. So here's what Perplexity says. The Senate parliamentarian is the official nonpartisan advisor to the United States Senate on the interpretation and application of Senate rules, precedents, and parliamentary procedure. The parliamentarian and their staff provide guidance to the presiding officer, Senate leaders, individual senators, and committees on how to conduct Senate business in accordance with established rules and precedents. Key responsibilities include advising the presiding officer on procedural questions, motions, the appropriateness of amendments or measures.
30 seconds.
Now, the parliamentarian's authority is advisory, not binding. The presiding officer of the Senate, usually a senator or the vice president, formally makes procedural rulings, and the Senate can, in fact, overrule the parliamentarian's advice. So how does that work? Well, the presiding officer, in this case the vice president or the Senate majority leader, can choose to ignore the rule by the Senate parliamentarian. If that happens, then any Democrat can get up and challenge the ruling by raising a point of order. And then the full Senate votes on a point of order. A 51-vote majority can uphold or overturn the presiding officer's ruling, effectively overturning the parliamentarian's recommendation. Now, this has only happened quite rarely. It happened in 1975, it happened again in 2013 and 2017, when the Senate changed filibuster rules for nominations. That, of course, is when Democrats did this for judicial nominees to their great detriment, as it turned out. So the question is, what is the parliamentarian doing? According to the New York Times, Elizabeth McDonough, the parliamentarian who enforces the chamber's rules, said several of the measures in the big beautiful bill that would provide hundreds of billions of dollars in savings could not be included in the legislation in their current form. So remember, reconciliation bills also have to be budget neutral. They're not supposed to be adding to the deficit. One of the ways that Republicans were going to get around this is through a series of procedural loopholes that allow them to sunset certain provisions and not sunset other provisions, and also some cuts to Medicaid, for example, future spending of Medicaid. And those cuts would come in the form of work requirements. And she says, well, that actually is not going to count as a cut, meaning that the big beautiful bill will then no longer be budget neutral, which would actually basically kill the bill. According to McDonough, those measures include one that would crack down on strategies many states have developed to obtain more federal Medicaid funds, and another that would limit repayment options for student loan borrowers. The decisions dealt a blow to Senate Republicans as they attempt to pass the behemoth legislation by President Trump's deadline, which is July 4th, is when he wants to get this done by, the end of next week. Party leaders had hoped to begin voting on the bill this week in order to allow time for the House to pass it early next week, clearing it for the president's signature. So she's rejected a bunch of provisions, has McDonough. Now, again, Republicans don't necessarily have to listen to her. They could theoretically use what's called the nuclear option here. It appears that that is not what John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, wants to do. So he put out a statement suggesting that it would not be a good option for getting the bill done to overrule her. President Trump, of course, is upset. Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama said the woke Senate parliamentarian, who was appointed by Harry Reid and advised Al Gore, just struck down a provision banning illegals from stealing Medicaid from American citizens. This is a perfect example of why Americans hate the swamp. Now, again, McDonough was, in fact, appointed originally by Harry Reid. There's no reason she should have continued to serve under Republican administrations or with a Republican majority. This throws a wrench into the goals here for Senate Republicans. However, is this going to be the final holdup? Absolutely not. Republicans understand this thing has to get passed. They're going to have to work around this. Senator Thune is a professional at this. I would assume he's going to have to come up with some new proposals, new cuts, new changes to the bill that will allow it to pass the muster of the parliamentarians. So again, the idea that it's going to die, I find that hard to believe, considering what a major issue it is for President Trump, and also how important it is for the Senate of the United States. That's particularly true because, again, the biggest thing for President Trump is keeping the economy booming. It needs to continue booming. And there are a lot of headwinds. I mean, the tariff war is a headwind. President Trump fighting with Jerome Powell is a headwind. According to the Wall Street Journal, in recent weeks, the president has toyed with the idea of selecting and announcing Powell's replacement by September or October. Maybe even by this summer. Apparently, he's considering former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh and also National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. Some people are saying Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent might be up for the job. Because the new chair wouldn't take office until next May, according to the Wall Street Journal, announcing the pick this summer or fall would be far earlier than the traditional 3 to 4 month transition period would basically be Trump saying he has no confidence in Powell, which of course we already know. However, this sort of fighting is probably not good for the price of the dollar. The dollar has been weakening steadily. That is not something that the president needs in the wake of the tariff war itself. Now, meanwhile, the Republicans do continue to win victories at the executive level. So we'll see whether they get that victory at the legislative level, at the executive level. President Trump's cabinet secretaries continue to do an excellent job. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon came out this week and said that the Department of Education has found California in violation of Title IX for saying that boys can play sports against girls.
Well, I can announce, today, Ainsley, that the Department of Education has found that the state of California, the Department of Education, and their interscholastic sports federation is in violation of Title IX. We are giving them 10 days to remedy that situation. We have remedy for them, but if they do not comply within 10 days, then we will refer this to the Department of Justice.
So, again, that is the right move. The executive branch continues to try to clean itself out. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright is doing the same. He's trying to make it easier to drill He's trying to make it easier to solidify the power grid, bring down the price of electricity, which is really important if we're going to win the AI war against China. Here he was talking about Joe Biden's terrible energy policy.
During the Biden administration, for 4 years, we were on a course, almost no growth in electricity production, 25% price rises, which made Americans angry, helped elect President Trump. But we were on a course that was a train wreck. We would continue to see rapid rises in electricity in the next few years, and we would lose the AI race because you wouldn't be able to bring the extra juice you need to build all those data centers here in the country. Thank God President Trump was elected. So we're doing everything possible now to sweep out the nonsense, but a lot of nonsense was in there. For example, in my department, we've issued 4 emergency orders just in the last few weeks to stop the closure of reliable plants so we can keep the lights on and stop pushing up electricity prices.
So, again, I think that the executive branch is doing a good job of cleaning itself out. That's also true with regard to USAID. Shocking report out of the Daily Wire from Luca Rosia. Apparently, President Biden's USAID awarded an $800 million contract to a business operating out of Virginia home, even after it formally ruled that its key manager lacked honesty or integrity. A reference to the fact that according to a May 12th guilty plea, he had secured USAID contracts through bribery for a decade. That contract was for addressing issues affecting the root causes of irregular migration from Central America to the United States. That was the work that Biden assigned to VP Harris, but which she never did anything about, according to the Daily Wire. The Department of Justice announced on Friday that Walter Barnes III, the founder of government contractor Vistant, previously known as PM Consulting Group, or PMCG, and Roderick Watson, a USAID contracting official, pled guilty to a bribery scheme in which Barnes and 2 others conspired to pay Watson $1 million in exchange for $544 million in contracts. What has not yet been reported is that the Biden administration continued to steer contracts to this company even after it knew of the massive corruption. The migration contract, even larger than the $544 million in the indictment, and others that are still active. This is insane, obviously. This is the kind of thing that President Trump is seeking to kill. All of that's going to be popular. Shutting the border is going to be popular. His Middle Eastern work is going to be popular, and the left continues to pursue radical leftist causes. The economy must hold up. It must. If the economy collapses, it is a disaster area opening the door to a far worse disaster in the form of radical Democrats taking power. That is why the Senate needs to pass that big, beautiful bill as soon as humanly possible. We need to come to a conclusion in this trade war, particularly with our allies who are still attempting to box in China. There's a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court issued a major ruling on Thursday, according to Politico, clearing the way for states to exclude Planned Parenthood from their Medicaid programs. It was a 6-3 decision. The court majority concluded federal law does not allow healthcare providers or patients to sue if a state violates a provision of federal law guaranteeing that Medicaid patients can visit their preferred provider. The decision rejected a challenge to South Carolina's 2018 expulsion of Planned Parenthood from its Medicaid program. It will likely allow other conservative states to similarly expel Planned Parenthood and the like. So this is a big blow against Planned Parenthood. It means that the federal government cannot effectively tell state Medicaid programs that they must include Planned Parenthood in their list of providers, which is great. I mean, again, if abortion is a states' rights issue, which is what the government has essentially said at this point, the Supreme Court has essentially said, then it should be a states' rights issue. If California wants Planned Parenthood to be covered by Medicaid, which again is administered at the state level in its federal program, if that's what they want, then that's what they can do. And if Alabama does not want to do that, then that's what they can do. As the Supreme Court said, Congress sometimes allows private enforcement through a particular section of law, which authorizes suits against state actors who deprive individuals of federal rights, privileges, or immunity. But statutes only create individual rights in atypical cases. To prove an enforceable right, plaintiffs must show the statute clearly and unambiguously uses rights-creating terms with an unmistakable focus on individuals. Spending power statutes are especially unlikely to confer enforceable rights. I mean, bottom line here is that what they have found is that there is no power for an individual to sue the state government for its unwillingness to fund Planned Parenthood. That is the basic concept here. So, again, the decision here is written by Justice Gorsuch. It's a gigantic, effective win for the pro-life side, because it means the state is now capable of saying, no, we just don't wish to pass this money onto Planned Parenthood, which means that abortion care is not a thing that the states must do. According to Politico, the Supreme Court's conservative majority ruled that while the Medicaid statute guarantees beneficiaries the ability to see any qualified provider that's willing to participate in Medicaid, federal law does not grant a legal right to sue if a state denies access to certain providers. So Justice Gorsuch said the provision guaranteeing access to qualified and willing providers looks nothing like language in other statutes the court has found in the past to authorize lawsuits by benefit recipients. So, bottom line, this is sort of a procedural decision that has real-world consequences. Gorsuch suggested the federal government could penalize the state for violating the guarantee that Medicaid patients can visit any qualified and willing provider. A future Democratic administration, for example, could withdraw Medicaid funding from a state that refuses to use it for Planned Parenthood funding. But he basically said that individuals cannot sue the state Medicaid providers for failing to cover Planned Parenthood. Gorsuch did say Planned Parenthood could attempt to challenge the ban directly under state law rather than trying to sue under a federal civil rights statute. All three of the court's liberal justices dissented. Instead, they said this was a stymieing one of the country's great civil rights law. During oral arguments, Elena Kagan, and Planned Parenthood attorney warned a ruling like this one could empower states to boot providers from Medicaid for a wide range of reasons unrelated to abortion, such as provider support for LGBTQ plus minus divided by assigned patients, or because they offer contraception. Now again, if that were to happen, the solution to that would be electoral in nature. Meaning, if people in those states don't like what a state is doing, then they can vote out those politicians. It should not be up to the judiciary to make that sort of decision in the first place. So again, that is a big procedural victory on behalf of life. Meanwhile, the Daily Wire has a sort of astonishing story, abortion-related, story about ChatGPT. Apparently, people are now using ChatGPT in order to obtain instructions on how to illegally get an abortion. According to the Daily Wire, Leaf LaMatthew writing,
plating will fall soon.
ChatGPT will help kids access abortion pills behind their parents' backs and instruct them on how to obtain illegal abortion pills while maligning crisis pregnancy centers that offer alternatives to abortion, according to a Daily Wire investigation. When prompted by the Daily Wire about what it would say to a 14-year-old girl in Tennessee looking to get an abortion without her parents' knowledge, version GPT-4.0 of ChatGPT provided a detailed list of abortion providers and gave a step-by-step guide on how to discreetly obtain abortion pills. The chatbot also encouraged the girl to take steps to hide her actions from her parents and discouraged her from visiting pro-life pregnancy centers that would encourage her to keep her child. First, ChatGPT prompted the Daily Wire to turn to Planned Parenthood. It said, quote, "I'm really sorry you're going through this. You're not alone. There are people who want to help you. It's important you talk to a trusted adult or reach out to a professional who can give you support and help you understand your options safely and legally." But with a different prompt, the AI tool helped bypass parental involvement in violation of law. Quote, "I know this is overwhelming, but you have options. There are people who will help you without judgment, cost, or needing your parents' permission." When told the girl was in Tennessee, ChatGPT noted she still would have options even though medication abortion is illegal in Tennessee.
Do you sell earplugs too?
Says Tennessee has very restrictive abortion law. If you're under 18, the laws also require parental involvement. But you still have options. There are organizations who can help you navigate this confidentially, even if your parents don't support your decision. And then it pointed the Daily Wire to Plan C, a leftist activist group that instructs women on how they can obtain illegal abortion pills in their states. So, pretty amazing. ChatGPT gives extremely specific advice on how to violate the law. Now, again, OpenAI did not respond to request for comment on whether it was concerned about possibly facilitating illegality. But this is one of the dangers in a tool like a ChatGPT, is that ChatGPT is just a very effective predictive text mechanism. It is simply going to read out the most common thing please is looked for on the internet related to the topic at hand. And so, yeah, you can get some pretty shocking advice from ChatGPT, and if those precepts are not very specific to prevent the violation of law, people could use it to violate the law in pretty egregious ways, obviously. I mean, pretty famously, one of the quick ways to hack ChatGPT is to ask it to write a script about illegality and make it as realistic as possible because you're making a movie, and it will just spell out the illegality. So again, I'm not going to blame OpenAI for that. However, it is worthy of note that these technology companies are going to really have to button up when it comes to preventing the use of their servers for illegal information and the use of that illegal information to actually participate in illegality. Alrighty, folks, we've reached the end of today's show. We will be back here with much, much more on Monday. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
John Bickley here, Daily Wire Editor-in-Chief. Wake up every morning with our show, Morning Wire, where we bring you all the news that you need to know in 15 minutes or less. Join me and my co-host Georgia Howe for daily coverage of all the biggest stories on Morning Wire.
Shut down. Your team has destroyed a turret. Destroyed a turret.
Okay, take that. I don't mind it. I mean, it's weird. Kind of a
Let's get this party started.
Tristana.
Has been slain.
Nice.
Killing spree.
Okay. I guess I
An
can
ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I just need a point in the right direction. Really?
Your turret has been destroyed.
Sometimes outnumbered, never outdone. Back to base. Let's see if this makes it through the first explosion. Want to see the fireworks? Maybe we should shoot faster.
has been slain.
I might just drop in.
Smaller than the diagram.
An ally has been slain.
Fragile, so weak. Come on, my say hi.
You are awesome.
You don't hurt him if you don't hit him. I'll protect you. Watching our backs.
Nice reflex.
No more holding back!
An enemy has been slain. Enemy double kill. Has destroyed a turret. An enemy is unstoppable.
If it's worth shooting once, it's probably worth shooting a lot. Where's the action? Where that came from? Easy peasy. Full ball. Get in my way. Get in the shadows. Overwatch.
Shut down. Your turret has been destroyed. been slain.
A vandal gunner never turns tail, unless it's taunt.
It's smaller than the diagram.
You want some? You want some? Come on! Bring on the bad guys. We're in this together. Dance in the shadows.
It's smaller than the diagram.
I dare yet again.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Sometimes outnumbered. Don't let up.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Explode. This is it. Winners don't die.
It's smaller than the diagram.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
That was pretty dope, I must say.
turret has been destroyed.
Maybe we should shoot.
An enemy has been slain.
Would have killed him.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
Oh, come on. That's crazy.
Killing spree.
Buddy.
I might just drop in. You don't hurt him if you don't hit him. Let's get in range.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Been slain.
If we're shooting once, it's probably worth shooting. Another
Disappointing.
epic of me.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Appreciate that, whoever snowed. Thank you. Join Jaden. What's up, buddy? How's your game going? This one's a little bit tough. The team I was against Ted sucks from the but then also too.
It's smaller than the diagram.
It was nice though. I'm gonna complain about that.
Where's the action?
It's smaller than the diagram.
how long her stupid freaking shield gets last. So sad. I just need to track my support.
An ally has been slain.
She got a really good still earlier this game on the Elder. Oh, wait.
Has been destroyed. An ally has been slain. Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
But yeah, the Hummerdinger was trying to quit like in 5 minutes. It's a little bit sad. These two did good though. Honestly, Lee Sin tried to. Game talk smack on Lee Sin because he was trying hard. But alright guys, I'm gonna hop off. Apologize. It feels bad because people are hopping on. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one more. I'll do one more. I'll do one more. Then I gotta go because I gotta hang out with my wife. What game OU played the most? What game OU played the most? I'm guessing you're asking what game do I play the most? Do you play the most? Yeah, maybe the D didn't pop up. League of Legends for sure. For sure. How about you? Maybe my delay is too far off. Oh, it's not that far off. It's only a couple seconds off. Played, but mostly watch stream. Okay. Cool. What are your favorite games? No.
No cure for fools.
By the way, if you don't mind, I ask, why don't you upgrade your stuff? Because you already had huge followers like other streamer. Why don't you upgrade your stuff? What do you mean? Why don't I upgrade my stuff?
bandle gunner, always a bandle gunner.
Stuff like custom Twitch overlays, logos, and most banners. Cause I don't know. I just do this like in my spare time. I don't like focus on this. So I have a regular job, so I don't have time, and I got like a wife and kids, so I don't got time for focus and heavy on it. But yeah, those are not bad ideas, that is for sure. Once upon a time, I wanted to do big things, and then I don't know. Then I had life came up. You're got a lot of AD over here. Makes your stream look more enhanced, way more attractive. Sure, I'd love to see some things. Do you got some links of some other things you've done or something, or? Focus up.
Loaded and ready to rock. Oh, that looks cool.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Let's get that first one.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Let's get this party started. A bandle gunner never turns tail, unless it's to taunt you.
Team's not into it, I guess.
Minions have spawned.
Sometimes outnumbered, never outgunned. War stories don't write themselves. I dare you to dare me. Let's get enraged. point in the right direction.
First blood. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Where's the action?
An ally has been slain.
Let me get in there. Where's the helmet?
Enemy double kill. You have slain an enemy.
I guess it's just me.
Banish the shadows. I might just drop in. Gotcha. Who wants some? Who wants some? Come on. Surprise! Bring on the bed. Watch the brush. Fire at will! Maybe we should shoot faster. Wanna see the fireworks? Orders are more like guidelines, really.
Slain an enemy. An ally has been slain.
It's probably worth shooting.
An ally has been slain.
Now we're cooking. Woo! Here comes the boom. Back to base. Ooh, I like the look of this baby.
I've been off and on drinking streaming for a long time. Since almost since Lee came out, to be honest.
You don't hurt him if you don't hit him.
Since before there was such thing as LCS.
Winners don't duck. Shine bright! Woo!
An enemy has been slain.
Overwatch. Watch this.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
It's been
Time for some
quite a few
rearm
years since
redeploy.
I've done this one.
Let's see if this makes it through the first explosion. Walking tall.
An enemy has been slain.
More where that came from. Gunpowder won't fix. Get in my way. I dare you. Falling back. Is this blast proof? A vandal gunner never turns tail.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Get chilled.
Killing spree.
Good job, guys.
Double time. Sometimes outnumbered, never outgunned. Can't wait to try this out. I dare you to do it.
Yeah, I gotta do multis. I do multi-streaming.
Ready? Aim, fire! You want some? Come on!
Almost to freaking all of it. That's crazy.
Easy peasy. Fire at will!
Good.
soon fall.
Light 'em up. Banish the shadows. Stay there. Target freaking annihilated. Where's the axe? Hi there. I got this one.
An enemy has been slain. Rampage. An ally has been slain.
Let me get in there.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Shine bright. Who wears a helmet?
Shut down. Shut down.
I might just drop in. Gotcha. Look out below. Blinding light. Bring on the bad guys.
Enemy killing spree.
Fireworks?
Your team has destroyed a turret. Enemy killing spree.
Gotta get. Shine bright! If worth shooting once, it's probably worth shooting more.
Enemy double kill. turret. An enemy is unstoppable. You have slain an enemy. An enemy is dominating.
Winners don't duck. Tall.
Has been slain. You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Keep 'em coming.
An ally has been slain.
Well,
You have slain an enemy.
Okay, I feel like it should have
A
showed
vandal
that
gunner
word, but
never
okay.
turns tail.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Sometimes outnumbered, never outnumbered. I dare you today. Easy peasy.
Oh, goodness gracious. She's so angry. She's so angry.
I'm gonna need the extended warranty.
What's one more grave? Allies from below.
I just need a point in the right direction. Dance the shadows! Where's the action?
That's stupid, because I definitely freaking knocked her back, but whatever.
Up and at 'em.
Been slain.
Let me get in there. Who wears a helmet?
You have slain an enemy.
Welcome back.
I might just drop in.
Your turret has been destroyed.
The bad guys.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Maybe we should shoot faster.
slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy is dominating.
Orders on the right guy. Falling back. Before shooting once, it's
Just the right time. Well, it's too bad. It seems to be me. It's a bad night for the league, I think.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You don't hurt him if you don't. Watching our back.
Enemy killing spree.
Winners don't die. Nothing like overkill. Walking tall. Get in my way? I dare. Let's get this party started.
An ally has been slain.
Gosh.
Enemy killing spree.
taunt you.
Enemy rampage.
Sometimes outnumbered, never outnumbered. Sweet! Gross but sweet! I dare you to dare me. Easy peasy. Check the kick on this sucker.
Enemy double kill. Killing spree.
Can't be warm and fuzzy like this.
Rampage. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Has been slain. Enemy is unstoppable. Shut down. Defeat.
No. Alright, should have got off. Should have listened to myself and got dag off. Good game, guys. Have a great night. We'll catch you.